Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Paul Pogba still wants to quit Manchester United. According to Damasio, Paul Pogba has no intentions of extending his contract with Manchester United, and his preferred destination is Juventus. Paul Pogba endured 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Manchester United. And there's been narratives coming out saying that Juventus have offered us Paulo Dybala in a swap deal for Paul Pogba. Juventus won a Paul Pogba swap deal. Fabrizio Romano, who is a very reliable Italian journalist and close to Man United, he says Juventus are refusing to give up on re-signing Paul Pogba. He has had a long-running transfer saga. He hasn't only been linked with a return to Juventus. Real Madrid have been relentlessly linked with him before, and PSG have been in for him. Now, earlier on this season, Solskjaer said he was hopeful that Paul Pogba will stay at Manchester United and sign a new contract. We had been in contract negotiations with Paul Pogba. Earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United until June 2022. We have been getting the best out of Paul Pogba in recent months. Obviously came on against Milan and scored the goal and made an instant impact. He brings creativity to the team. Disregarding Paul Pogba, we lack creativity and we are far too defensive. And I think Paul Pogba's more effective on the left wing, in more of an advanced role. He was out for a while with a thigh injury. Come back not so long ago. Had an ankle injury earlier on this season, and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury, so he's sustained a few injuries now at Man United. Now, Mino Raiola, he's obviously desperate to get his client out of the football club. Mino Raiola doesn't have a good relationship with Manchester United, and he's been criticised a lot. He did say earlier on this season that he's got no intentions of destabilising his client's season at Man United. He made an admission saying that he was working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer to avoid offence. And he's been talking about how unhappy Paul Pogba is at Manchester United. Obviously made an announcement back in December last year saying that Paul Pogba's career is over, he's unhappy, he has to leave, and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. Ollie was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. Mino Raiola has been talking a lot recently. He come out and said that he doesn't give a fuck if he doesn't take another player to Man United as long as his clients are happy. He also criticised Sir Alex Ferguson for forcing Paul Pogba out of the club when he was younger. Matthias Pogba, Paul Pogba's brother, he gave us an update on Paul Pogba's future earlier on this season, and he advised us to sell him in the summer, because he said there's a good chance he'll leave for free next year. And he said he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. Now, as it stands at the moment, he is our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him, and this is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. Paul Pogba has won the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield at Man United. We had him when he was a lot younger under Sir Alex Ferguson, but like I mentioned before, we had to let him go due to limited appearances. So it looks very likely he's going to leave in the summer transfer window. Maybe there's quite a lot of United fans that would like him to stay, potentially, past the summer. Now, I want to delve into some news on Edinson Cavani. So, Manchester United have held showdown talks with Edinson Cavani over his future at the club. Now, I think we want to convince Cavani to stay at Man United for one more season. Edinson Cavani has got 3 months left on his current contract. We do have an option to trigger his contract for a further year. Now, Ollie did say not so long ago that he's hopeful that Cavani will stay for next season, and we have been in contract negotiations with Cavani. Football Insider said a few weeks ago that Cavani had reached a verbal agreement to join Boca Juniors at the end of the season. If we sell him in the summer transfer window, we won't receive a transfer fee because his current contract expires in the summer transfer window. The Uruguay coach has urged Edinson Cavani to leave. Now, earlier on this season, Solskjaer said that Cavani was closer to Boca Juniors than staying at Manchester United. And his father came out earlier on this season and said that Cavani is unhappy. He doesn't feel comfortable in England and he wants to leave. Prior to that, reports from Argentina said that Cavani has decided to leave the club after one season. Cavani's sustained a few injuries at Man United, but I think he's made a fantastic impact since he's come in. We got him on a free transfer last summer. He signed a 1-year contract with the club with an option of a 2nd year. This year's summer transfer window is the biggest in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career. I can assure Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager in the summer transfer window, will be Man United manager next season as well. I did say he does deserve at least another season at the club. We've already said that Solskjaer will not be sacked as Manchester United manager, even if we fail to win the Europa League. Ed Woodward has come out and said that he believes that Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward. He released a statement earlier on this season saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear, so in that aspect Woodward is backing him. And in general, Woodward's come out several times to show his support for Ole, even when we was enjoying them really bad periods under him. Our board have got a soft stance on Ole, with him being a club legend. But I think Solskjaer needs to win a trophy at Manchester United. He did say not so long ago that winning trophies is an ego thing. And he said that in regards to some other managers and some other clubs. And he says clubs like Man United, trophies no longer prove success. I think in that aspect I've got to disagree with him. We know we haven't won a trophy since 2017, so we don't win the Europa League this season, that'll be 4 years without a trophy. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has already agreed to sign a new 3-year contract worth 30 million. It's likely to be 2 years with an option of an extra one. Sources at Old Trafford did say earlier on this season that talks were set to begin any day on the new deal, because Ole is now into the final year of his current 3-year contract. Does he deserve a new contract? In some aspects, yeah. In some aspects, no. I think there's a lot of United fans that disagree with us giving him a new contract, because there is a lot of Manchester United fans that are Ole out. Ole outs were trending on social media not so long ago. Just after our 3-1 defeat to Leicester in the FA Cup quarter-final. I've obviously got main explanations why they want him out. And I can assure he isn't the long-term manager for Manchester United. But even if we wanted to sack him now, we wouldn't be able to anyway, because as far as I'm aware at the moment, there's no one available to replace him. And to be honest with you, it wouldn't really solve anything if we sacked him. Because when we are inconsistent, not all of the blame stems from him. He's obviously accountable for some of the stuff, obviously. Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager over 2 years now. You know, reflecting now on he's been at the football club, he has gained some managerial experience and he has learned quite a bit on the job. But my element of concerns about him is that he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. And his decision making, because in the vast majority of his games at Man United, he has been tactically naive, especially in a lot of the big games this season. But there's also been some games where he's showed tactical flexibility, but he's got to show that persistently. The main explanation he's still Manchester United manager is because he's a club legend, so that's what's basically saved him. Disregarding him being a club legend, I can almost assure he wouldn't have been here now. I reckon Solskjaer needs at least £200 million in the summer transfer window if he's to get the players he wants to recommend in. Solskjaer did warn earlier on this season we may not do business as usual due to the coronavirus pandemic. He said earlier on this season that our transfer budget had been revealed. It was £80 million, and a lot of United fans were shocked in that aspect because we know £80 million is nowhere near enough for us to get the players we want to recommend in. I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer transfer window. I think Man United need a striker, we need a right winger, we need a defensive midfielder, and we also need a centre half. Now, there's been a lot of players on our agenda. Now, as you all know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would love to sign Erling Haaland. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer reveals that Erling Haaland had bad knees at Mulder. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer also revealed how impressed he was with Erling Haaland in training when he was at Mulder. And he recently said Solskjaer keeps calling Erling Haaland to persuade him to join Manchester United. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer said he was following Erling Haaland's progress and he's keeping in touch with the player. Now I'm hearing Erling Haaland wants £600,000 a week if he's to join Man United, Man City or Chelsea. Now, I think there's a good chance Haaland will leave Dortmund in the summer transfer window, especially if Dortmund fail to qualify for the Champions League. Finch Haaland, Erling Haaland's father, before he's spoken about his son's transfer links to Man United, and he's spoken about his son's career and his prospects. Haaland does have a £68 million release clause, but it doesn't become active until next year. Dortmund have revealed their asking price for Haaland. It's £154 million. Dortmund are going to find it extremely difficult to sell him if they are demanding that much. Haaland has been at Dortmund over a year. You know, Dortmund paid just £17 million for him. He's under contract with Dortmund until 2024. Harry Kane, there's been a lot of narratives coming out regarding him. It's likely that Harry Kane will leave Tottenham because he is unhappy. David Einstein was talking about him not so long ago. And he said he spoke to people in football. And he said Harry Kane wants to leave. He is committed to Tottenham whilst he's there. But he wants to win the biggest trophies, and you know he's not experiencing this at all at Tottenham. Now, Kane recently dealt Tottenham a huge blow. He has refused to commit his future to the club. He is delaying his transfer decision until after the international break. we're going to have to probably pay around 150 million to convince Tottenham to offload him. Harry Kane is regarded as one of the best strikers in the world. He's a prolific goal scorer. His link-up play is very good. We've been in for him before. Harry Kane has won the Golden Boot a couple of times. He's been at Tottenham around 17 years. He's been in their senior squad since 2009. And he's made around 234 appearances in the Premier League and he's scored 160 goals. He's got a contract with Tottenham till 2024. He's on around £200,000 a week. He's had quite a few loan spells with Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich and Leicester. And he is the age of 27, so he is highly experienced and obviously he's well Premier League proven. Jadon Sancho, obviously Man United is still in for him. I think we believe we can get him for a cut price fee of £50 million in the summer transfer window. Jadon Sancho has visited our Carrington training ground quite a few times. You know, Sancho was our number one priority target last summer, but the main explanation we didn't get him is because we was reluctant to meet Borussia Dortmund's 108 million valuation. We was only willing to pay so much up front. We had until the 10th of August last summer to sign Sancho. We missed out on that deadline, so he did remain at Borussia Dortmund. And Fabrizio Romano, he's spoken a lot about the Jadon Sancho transfer saga. So too has Bill's Christian Falk. Earlier on this season, Jadon Sancho made an admission saying that he has enjoyed a difficult season at Dortmund. Earlier on this season, Borussia Dortmund's CEO gave us a transfer boost because he said that Sancho, Haaland and more Dortmund stars could be sold to avoid financial crisis. Bild said earlier on this season that Dortmund reduced their asking price for Sancho to £88 million. Now, this is his fourth season at Dortmund. Analysing the vast majority of his career at Dortmund, he's been very consistent. Dortmund got him for next to nothing. They just paid £8 million for him from Man City. And he's got a contract with Dortmund until 2023. And we was willing to offer him that number 7 shirt. He's predominantly a right winner. Now, Marcos Llorente, I give you the news on him a few days ago. He says that Atletico Madrid have set the price for Man United to sign Marcos Llorente. We have to pay his entire 103 million release clause. Reports from Spain said last Friday that we made an offer of 68.5 million for Marcos Llorente and we was prepared to double his £90,000 a week wages, but he said a move is unlikely. Marcos Llorente, he can play as a midfielder and a second striker. Atletico Madrid, I think, got him in 2019. They paid £35 million for him from Real Madrid. He's got a contract with Atletico Madrid until 2024. But yeah, before he was at Atletico, he enjoyed 11 years at Real Madrid, so he was a long-serving player for them. He also had a loan spell with Alaves. There's been a lot of narratives coming out regarding Ousmane Dembele. This was stemming from Spanish outlet Sport. They said that Man United have increased their interest in Ousmane Dembele. And we've been monitoring his displays this season. We have been in contact with his representatives and we are preparing a bid. I think he's valued at around £50 million. Fabrizio Romano did say that Ousmane Dembele is set for contract talks with Barcelona. Now, we actually wanted to get him on loan with the option to buy. I think that was last year. But Barcelona didn't go along with this. Ousmane Dembele has been at Barcelona a few years now. You know, Barcelona got him in a deal worth 135 million from Dortmund. Barcelona paid 97 million pounds up front, I think it was. He's got like 15 months left on his current contract at Barcelona. My element of concern about Ousmane Dembele, he's too injury prone. We are going to sell players in the summer transfer window, so in that aspect we'll generate money and it'll help us with our rebuilding process. So like I said, Cavani, good chance he's going to leave. A lot of United fans are saying that we need to sell Anthony Martial because Anthony Martial has been out of form for the vast majority of this season. He's had chances, but he hasn't converted them. I think Martial's got an injury at the moment. Not so long ago he had a hip injury, and before that he had another injury. But Solskjaer said earlier on this season he's backing Martial to rediscover his form, and he's been impressed with his work rate. I think Martial's had 2 good seasons at Man United. He was good last season and he was good in his debut season under Van Gaal. We got Martial in a deal worth 54 million from Monaco and he's been at the club over 5 years. I think it was last season Solskjaer gave him that number 9 shirt. I reckon if we sell him in the summer we'll get around £30 million. Juan Mata, good chance we're going to offload him. His current contract expires in June. These and options trigger his contracts for a further year. Juan Mata doesn't get in our team now. Earlier on this season, he rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. Mata's been at the club almost 7 years now, is it? Got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea in 2014. We brought him in under the David Moyes era, didn't we? Good chance we'll sell Donny van der Beek. I think we should sell Donny van der Beek because he isn't getting enough opportunities at Manchester United. Mark Hughes was talking about Donny van der Beek not so long ago and he said he feels lost at Manchester United and he's edging closer to a Man United exit. Prior to that, he said that Donny van der Beek feels loved at the club despite his lack of game time. There was narratives coming out earlier on this season saying that Donny van der Beek wants to quit Man United after 1 season due to his lack of game time and he wanted to hold showdown talks with Ed Woodward over his future. But Solskjaer made an admission earlier on this season saying that Donny van der Beek was unhappy because of his lack of game time but promised him more game time at Man United. He was out with injury, wasn't he, for quite a while. Ronald de Boer has actually backed him to become a success at Man United. Now, ESPN said back in January that we rejected several loan offers for Van der Beek because we was reluctant to let him go. We got him in a deal worth £40 million and he's versatile, he can play in 3 different roles. Good chance we'll sell Nemanja Matic in the summer transfer window because he isn't one of our first choice midfielders. I've got my strong reservations about Matic because he's always been a slow player. This is what, 4th season is it now at Man United? We got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Like I said, good chance Pogba's going to go. Phil Jones, I'm also expecting him to leave. Phil Jones is the only outfield player that's still here from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. This is his 10th season at Man United, so he has been a long servant. Jones has been out of injury for over a year, but Jones has always been inconsistent. Romero, I'm expecting him to go. There's a good chance that we'll sell David De Gea in the summer transfer window. I reckon De Gea has now had his years at Manchester United. You know, this is De Gea's 10th season at the club, so he's been a long servant. He's been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. A few years ago, De Gea was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. You know, he's won everything domestically at Man United, but in the last couple of years, he's made calamitous mistakes, and reflecting on that, he's become a liability. De Gea has missed the last 6 games because Dean Henderson has started 6 games in a row for Man United. Don't forget, earlier on this season, De Gea was out due to personal reasons, and obviously when he came to Manchester, he had to self-isolate. De Gea has made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. He's got, 2 years left on his current contract, and he's on 375 grand a week. But I think there's a good chance that he will go back to Spain. I reckon we sell De Gea in the summer transfer window will get around 50, maybe 60 million pounds. I think Delors will be looking to get rid of him permanently. He's on loan at AC Milan at the moment. Will we sell Eric Bailly in the summer transfer window? Contract talks for Eric Bailly on hold until he has assurances over his playing time, because he has lost his place in the team, but he's done well in the games he's played in this season. Bailly, not so long ago, apologised to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Man United for his disrespectful behaviour, because it said that Bailly was furious with Solskjaer because he felt disrespected and not wanted. And Bailly believes we're only offering him a new contract to simply increase his asking price. The only element of concern about him is that he's injury prone. So imagine if we sell all them players. But in regards to Solskjaer, we've got to credit him in quite a few aspects, because we have enjoyed good periods under Solskjaer where we have seen consistency and where he has got the best out of the team in some of them good periods. We are second in the Premier League. At one point we was top of the Premier League there. That's obviously when we was in the title race. You know, he got us to the FA Cup quarter-final. He's got us to the Europa League quarter-final. Got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. Lost 2-0 to Man City. You know, Wally did well last season in his first full season. Guided us to 3 semi-finals. Got us qualification for the Champions League and got us a 3rd place finish. The second highest we've finished since Ferguson. Solskjaer has made some good signings. He's spent almost £300 million as Manchester United manager, and so far he's enjoyed 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager, but as yet he hasn't got all the players that he wanted to recommend in, so hopefully that all changes in the summer. He's also got rid of a lot of players since he's come in. And we've got a fantastic away record in the Premier League. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. And I like the way Ollie's promoted the youth. And he's also beaten some big name managers as Manchester United manager. You know, he's beaten Pep Guardiola quite a few times. He's beaten Carlo Ancelotti a few times. Beaten Jurgen Klopp in the FA Cup this season. Beaten Thomas Tuchel twice. That's when he was PSG manager. He's also beaten Julian Nagelsmann. He's beaten Jose Mourinho. So there you go. But I just believe that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in a position that he shouldn't be really in. And Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. You know, we did appoint him in December 2018, and obviously first came in as the interim manager. Did very, very well as the interim manager. He won 14 games out of 19 in all competitions, so the club decided to give him the job permanently 2 years ago. Maybe he can pinpoint out that we did give him the job too soon. Maybe we should have waited until the end of that particular season to decide or not whether to give him the job. But in the last 8 years, nothing's changed at Manchester United, has it? Nothing at all. Just been an ongoing cycle of inconsistency. And mistakes have been made in the last 8 years, and that's why we haven't been as consistent as we'd like to have been. I definitely think that the board's been one of the biggest issues at the club for a while, because the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired haven't got the players they wanted to recommend in. We've overpaid for players, and in general our recruitment policy has been poor. We've had different managers with different philosophies. 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson. We sacked David Moyes after 10 months. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield. I think that was in his first season. He also got us a second place finish, so you can say we did enjoy one good season under Mourinho. And we spent over £1 billion in the last 8 years on players. We must have brought around 37 players in since Ferguson retired. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, which is 8 years ago, and now I don't think Solskjaer's good enough to lead us to a Premier League title. So there you go. So anyway guys, what do you reckon to the news on Pogba and Cavani? Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.